If motivation was enough, everyone would already be successful. Most people fail not because they lack dreams, but because they lack control. This story proves why discipline matters more than motivation. Everyone told him to stay motivated, but no one told him to stay disciplined. His name was Adam, and his biggest problem was not lack of talent, but lack of control. Motivation came and went, but his life stayed stuck. Adam waited for the right mood to change his life. Some days he felt inspired. Most days he felt tired. His mind ruled him instead of working for him. He started many things with excitement but finished nothing. Motivation gave him energy, but discipline was missing. Without discipline, energy always faded. Adam blamed circumstances, people, and timing. He believed success needed passion first. He didn't realize discipline comes before motivation. One day, he noticed something painful. The people winning weren't more inspired than him. They were simply more consistent. That thought disturbed his comfort. He saw how often he listened to excuses instead of structure. His mind wanted ease, not growth. Adam decided to stop waiting for motivation. He chose small rules instead of big emotions. Discipline became his new foundation. At first, it felt uncomfortable and boring. There was no excitement, only effort. But effort slowly created confidence. His mind resisted change every day. Discipline taught him to act anyway. Control started replacing chaos. That was the moment Adam understood the truth. Motivation feels good, but discipline changes lives, and his journey had finally begun. Adam started waking up earlier than usual, not because he felt like it, but because he promised himself he would. Every morning, his body complained and his mind resisted. But each time he followed through, confidence quietly grew. He created small habits first, simple tasks done consistently without waiting for inspiration. Making his bed, writing one page, reading 10 minutes became victories. Discipline was slowly replacing chaos in his life. Adam noticed how scattered his thoughts had been before. Motivation had been a spark, but discipline was the fire. He could now see the difference between feeling good and actually achieving. Friends and family saw the change and commented on his energy. They assumed he had found new motivation. Adam smiled, knowing it was discipline behind every move. There were days he slipped and gave in to comfort. He missed a routine or delayed a task. But unlike before, he returned immediately, knowing recovery mattered more than perfection. Adam learned to celebrate small wins. Finishing one task on a hard day felt better than waiting for the perfect mood. These little victories built momentum stronger than fleeting inspiration. He realized the brain craves excuses more than effort. Every day was a choice: act despite resistance or fall back into old habits. Slowly, he chose action more often than not. By the third month, people began noticing his focus. Projects he had abandoned before now started finishing. Discipline had made results inevitable. Adam felt control for the first time in years. Life no longer tossed him around aimlessly. Decisions became intentional instead of reactive. He faced bigger challenges at work and in personal life. Discipline made him resilient against setbacks. Motivation alone would have failed him here. He even started teaching himself new skills, 1 hour at a time. Coding, writing, communication. Progress felt steady and satisfying. Small, disciplined steps were compounding like interest. Adam's mind became his ally instead of his enemy. He no longer waited for moods to dictate action. Consistency was the new motivation. Failures still came, but they no longer scared him. Discipline taught him to adapt and persist. Each setback became a lesson, not a reason to quit. People who relied on motivation envied his results. They asked for his secret, expecting some magic. Adam simply laughed quietly and continued his routine. He realized discipline is invisible at first, but it shows up in results. Motivation gives a start. Discipline gives the finish. The combination is unstoppable. Adam began feeling proud, not because of recognition, but because he finally trusted himself. Every completed goal reinforced that trust. Self-belief became his foundation. Opportunities appeared naturally now, not because he chased them, but because he was ready when they came. Discipline made him reliable, consistent, and visible. Luck followed preparation. Adam stopped fearing challenges. He knew action mattered more than courage. Discipline ensured that fear could never paralyze him. He understood the truth. Motivation comes and goes, but disciplined habits compound over years. 1 hour a day repeated consistently beats 100 hours of sporadic effort. His mind was no longer overloaded with indecision. Adam smiled at his reflection one morning. He no longer waited for the perfect day to start. He created the perfect life through consistent action. Discipline had transformed not just his results, but his identity. Adam realized that discipline wasn't punishment. It was freedom disguised as effort. Each completed task removed a weight from his mind. His thoughts became clearer, decisions easier, and energy abundant. He stopped blaming circumstances for what he hadn't achieved. He understood excuses were just traps for comfort. Action, no matter how small, was always the antidote. Every night he reflected on what he had done instead of what he hadn't. Gratitude for effort replaced regret for mistakes. Consistency, not luck, became his daily reward. Adam faced temptations to skip routines, relax too much, or delay important work. He resisted them quietly, knowing discipline would pay later. The satisfaction of self-control became stronger than short-term pleasure. People noticed his transformation at work and in personal life. He delivered results while others struggled to stay motivated. Discipline had created reliability that others admired silently. His friends asked why he no longer seemed anxious or frustrated. Adam explained that motivation is fleeting, but discipline builds lasting change. Few understood immediately, but results always speak. He learned that small habits shape bigger outcomes. Writing 1 page daily leads to finished books. Learning one skill at a time leads to mastery. Discipline multiplied effort over time. Failures no longer discouraged him. Each mistake was analyzed and adjusted. Discipline turned setbacks into structured growth opportunities. Adam's energy became magnetic. People gravitated towards his focus and calm determination. Motivation had nothing to do with it. Habit had everything to do with it. He started mentoring younger colleagues and friends, not by teaching techniques, but by showing consistency. His life became proof that discipline matters more than inspiration. Opportunities that seemed impossible before now seemed approachable. Risk felt smaller when preparation was steady. Discipline had trained his mind to welcome challenges, not fear them. Adam no longer waited for external approval. His self-belief was rooted in repeated action. Motivation now served as a spark, while discipline fueled the fire. He finally understood the balance. Act even when unmotivated, and motivation will follow action. Energy now aligned with purpose. Progress became inevitable. Even on bad days, Adam acted. Even on unmotivated mornings, he completed tasks. Discipline had turned consistency into a lifestyle, not a struggle. By the end of the year, he had achieved more than he imagined. Small, disciplined steps had compounded into visible results. His life was now proof that effort outweighs mood every time. Adam smiled at his reflection again. The man who waited for motivation was gone. The man who chose discipline lived fully, confidently and powerfully. Adam began planning his days the night before instead of waiting for inspiration. He wrote small tasks, set priorities, and promised himself he would follow through. Discipline started guiding his life quietly but powerfully. He noticed his mind was less chaotic than before. Thoughts no longer jumped uncontrollably. Clarity replaced confusion, and focus replaced distraction. Even his body responded to discipline. He exercised, ate better, and slept earlier, not because he wanted to, but because he decided to. His energy now supported his ambition. Adam's relationships improved too. Discipline made him more reliable, patient, and attentive. People noticed his calm consistency and respected it. He faced moments when old habits called him back. Laziness and procrastination whispered familiar comforts, but he responded with action, not delay. His projects began finishing, not just starting. Small wins compounded, creating momentum he had never experienced before. Motivation could never have produced this consistency. Adam reflected on how often he had waited for the right mood. Now he knew moods are unreliable allies. Discipline was steady, predictable, and trustworthy. He started reading and learning daily. Knowledge stacked slowly but exponentially over months. Discipline made learning a habit, not a chore. Even when opportunities seemed uncertain, he acted. Risk no longer paralyzed him. Preparation and discipline gave him courage he had never had before. He realized that discipline is a form of respect. Respect for time, for effort, and for oneself. Without it, talent is wasted, ideas remain unfinished, and dreams die quietly. Failures no longer embarrassed him. He analyzed, adapted, and moved forward immediately. Each failure became a stepping stone, not a setback. Adam's confidence grew naturally, not the loud, arrogant kind, but quiet self-assurance that radiates without trying. Discipline had built it brick by brick. He started inspiring others without even trying. Friends asked for his secret, bosses noticed his reliability, and peers respected his consistency. The results spoke louder than words. His mornings no longer began with hesitation or doubt. Each day started with intention and small victories. Motivation became a bonus, not a requirement. Adam finally understood a powerful truth. Action always beats waiting. Effort repeated daily always beats short bursts of energy. Discipline compounds silently but unstoppable. He saw people around him blaming circumstances for lack of progress. Adam realized most failures are not caused by lack of ability, but by lack of follow-through. Even on days he felt like giving up, he acted. Even when unmotivated, he moved forward. The habit of doing, regardless of feeling, became his superpower. Adam learned to value time above all. Minutes wasted in procrastination were now seen as lost opportunity. Each disciplined choice multiplied his effectiveness. His mind became calm, yet alert, focused, yet flexible. It no longer wavered with mood or emotion. Discipline had tamed his inner chaos. Opportunities that once seemed intimidating now felt achievable. Challenges became invitations to prove consistency, not reasons to quit. Risk no longer frightened him. Adam became a living proof of the power of small, repeated action. Motivation gives a spark, but discipline carries the flame. Without discipline, inspiration dies. Even when he reached his goals, he didn't stop. Discipline became a lifestyle, not a temporary strategy. Growth, consistency, and effort were now his identity. He looked back at the man who waited for motivation. That man had dreams, but no results. Adam now had results, growth, and the confidence to tackle anything. Finally, he shared his message to anyone who would listen. Motivation is unreliable, but discipline always delivers. Dreams without action remain dreams, but consistent effort creates reality. Adam smiled at his reflection one last time in that journey. The man who relied on fleeting feelings was gone. The man who trusted habits, effort, and consistency had finally arrived. And the greatest lesson he learned: your mind will always resist, but your disciplined actions will always win.